Hello and welcome to the Comeback Mechanics September 2025 Gym Leader Challenge Tournament. My name is Cody Hope, and I'm casting for you this feature match between Will Hobson with Dragon Axe and Matty Mims with Rain Dance Lightning. The Comeback Mechanics are a competitive team based in Dallas, Texas, and this matchup is from our monthly GLC tournament. As always, huge shout out to our sponsor, Lone Star Pack Breaks in Carrollton, Texas, who so generously provide pricing for all our tournaments.
Join Lone Star Pack Breaks live on Twitch Wednesday through Friday nights to rip into the latest Pokemon sets in English and Japanese, plus One Piece, Weiss, Union Arena, Final Fantasy, and more. LSPB ships anywhere in the U.S., or if you're local, choose in-store pickup at their shop in Carrollton, Texas. Pickup orders are usually ready 1 to 2 days after a stream. Plus, if you're a Pokemon player, don't miss their standard tournaments every Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. Check out the links below to get in on the action.
Huge thanks again to Lone Star Pack Breaks for sponsoring the team. Getting into the games here, Matty is on the right and he is playing Rain Dance. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. You go, but this is a lightning deck. What are we doing here? Well, you know, we don't have a Excalibur, but we do have a Magnezone. We don't have a Lapras or a Wailord, but we do have a Raikou. So, you know, it's very nice. We're kind of just seeing the Rain Dance strategy, but kind of ported over to Electric here. And we see a very humble start. Going to see a bench of a couple Pokemon, a Lightning Energy to the Zeraora, and then we're going to see a pass over to Will. Will has the Dragon Axe build of Dragon using that Haxorus's bring down the Axe attack, knocking out a Pokemon if it has a special energy attached to it. We are going to see the Stormy Mountains come down. Bit of an artisan for me, but not for thee. And prizing is a little bit unfortunate. The big things that we look for in the prizes are things like just those Pokemon, right? A lot of the supporters and trainers are redundant. Very few are built around a supporter, but a lot of times it's built around the Pokemon. And so we see a couple really good Pokemon prized for Will. So that is going to make his life just a little bit hard. Also to note, he did use our Matty Map House rule. First time you search your deck, you get to look at your prizes. Really helpful for me in knowing what the prizes are for the game. Also great in cutting down prize checking in a singleton format here. We see that he's opened on the Gibble. The Gibble is trying to go into the Gabite, which has that Dragon Call ability. Get to search your deck for a Dragon Pokemon, and then once Will is kind of done searching for Pokemon, he'll evolve it up into the Garchomp, which Dragon Blade for 160 is very nice, and has that Sonic Slip where it kind of gets a turn where it can't be damaged, which is fantastic. And besides that, we see a lot of the usual suspects here in Dragon. We see the Regidrago, we see Raging Bolt, Tatsugiri, Druddigon. Nothing too crazy there, and we do see that he's just going to grab the Dreepy off of the Stormy Mountains. Going to hopefully end up as that Dracloak. We know how powerful the Recon Directive ability is. And notably here, there is no Dragapult that is being played here. I don't even think there is a Dragon non-rule box Dragapult. So, you know, just going to see it as a support Pokemon. Not going to be doing damage, I would imagine. And we do see the random receiver here. Very nice card. Going to flip over the top card of your deck until you hit a supporter. And that supporter is going to go into your hand here. And it's going to be Lance. What a great supporter for the first turn. Lance rocks. Going to let you search for 3 Dragon Pokemon and put them in your hand. Doesn't have to be basics. You can get evolutions off of this. So Will is going to be able to really start chugging through his deck here. We see he's pulling that Dracloak to the front of his deck, and I imagine we may even see something like the Gabite. Gabite makes a lot of sense as well. Regidrago could be cool. There's just so many great options. Yeah, we're going to see the Regidrago, going to see that Dracloak, and I wonder what the third Pokemon is going to be here. Actually, I think the Gabite might have been in the prize cards, actually, if I am remembering correctly. So, oh no, it is not. It is right there. So, going to grab that Gabite. And now is a great time to kind of mention Will loves to make his own proxies, not just going to print them out off of the printer, instead going to draw some very well done proxy cards. Maverick, why don't you put up a couple of Will's proxies? I love them. They're very flavorful, lots of very inspired designs, and we just love to see it. Gonna see Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4, get an item or a trainer card, and gonna get that mysterious treasure. Discard a card and search your deck for a basic dragon Pokemon. Or no, any dragon Pokemon. My mistake. So very nice to help get a evolution out of the deck, or a basic if you need it. But I think Will's in a pretty good spot here. He's got his evolutions for next turn. Kind of has everything he needs. He even has this Guzmahala for next turn if he wants. Like, I wonder if we're just gonna see a pass here, but he's thinking about if he wants to mysterious treasure away this Guzmahala to get another Pokemon. Instead, I don't think he's going to. He's just going to shuffle up the deck, and I imagine we're going to see a pass here. Yep, going to go over to Matty's side, and Matty's got a lot to do here, especially once he plays the ball guy. Let's go. Search his deck for 3 ball cards and put them into the hand. And he's got quite a bit to pick from. I don't think we have seen his prizes yet. Yeah, we're going to take a peek here thanks to Matty Map. And the Zebstrika is in the prizes, and the Iono's Watchroll is in the prizes. So a little unfortunate there. So maybe this Hisuian Heavy Ball will be one of the picks here. Some other kind of notes about Matty's deck. He is making use, of course, of that Rain Dance that the Magnezone provides. He is playing some other cute cards here. I really love the Iono's Kilowattrel. Has the Flashing Draw ability where you discard a lightning energy from it, and then if you do, draw until you have 6 in your hand. And thanks to that Rain Dance, the magnetic circuit of Magnezone, you kind of get to do that where you attach it and then discard it. It's not your attach for turn, which is fantastic. So going to see Timer Ball, Nest Ball, and Hisuian Heavy Ball are the grabs off of the ball guy. Getting that Iono's Watchroll out of the prizes. Very nice. And then I imagine Nest Ball will probably grab something like, could grab the Raikou, just go ahead and get it out, get it ready, or could grab maybe the Mareep, try to get the Dynamotor ability set up here. Ooh, gonna play Timer Ball here, a little preemptive, very nice. And wow, double heads, gets to search his deck for 2 evolution Pokemon. Fantastic. That's going to be awesome for him. Gonna grab that Magnezone, and probably going to grab the Magneton as well, because we do know the Zebstrika is in the prize cards here. So something else I really like about Matty's deck building here is he has grabbed that Overvolt Discharge Magneton. We see a little bit of play here in Standard where he can knock it out to accelerate 3 energy cards to his Lightning Pokemon. So there is kind of a world here where, you do the Magnezone a little bit, maybe it gets boss knocked out, and you can do something like a Super Rod, put it back in, go Magnemite Magneton, pop it to put some energy in play. Like, it's pretty nice. And then we see, that Nest Ball going to come down, going to grab the Mareep, and Stormy Mountains is going to grab that Thundurus. Forgot this is one of the times where the Unique Stadium doesn't do what you want it to do. This is just an Artisan for both players here, so very interesting that sometimes the matchup just works out like that. And we see he's going to grab that Thundurus. Has that adverse weather ability, kind of bench barrier as long as it's in the active, but that's not the important part. The point is that it has Gigantic Bolt, does 140 for 2 energy, but also does 90 back onto itself, but can pretty much kaboom, blow up anything in play. Gonna see over on Will's side here, and I think Will is about to have just a bonkers turn here. Yeah, we're just gonna see bench the Regidrago, evolve Indigo evolve Cloak. Gonna search, find a whole bunch of Pokemon here, which is going to be great for him. We did see an attack off of Matty last turn. That Zeraora did the Crushing Claw. You did 20, and you discard a special energy. Fortunately, no special energy to be discarded here. So, let's see. Like, pretty much the whole deck is kind of at Will's disposal here. He can get so many Pokemon out of his deck here. He can just kind of get everything out into play. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of where his turn takes him. He could get something like the Raging Bolt out of the deck, try to snipe something like the Watchroll or maybe the Mareep down would be really nice. The problem is, though, is that, like, I don't think we have access to that double dragon energy just yet, and there isn't a ton of energy acceleration in the deck. We see that there is Crispin and, like, Raihan, but that's kind of it. That's kind of the only energy acceleration that we see. All these other energies are going to have to be attached manually, so the fact that there was a miss of an attachment on turn 1 kind of just means that there isn't a lot going on for him in terms of getting an attack off here, but can definitely do a lot of setup this turn. I don't think that Will is in danger of getting key Pokemon knocked out here. Well, I say that, but we know the Magnezone's coming down next turn, so Will might need to try to get this Gabite out of the active spot because the Gabite is very important for the strategy. Could just maybe see something like, I'm just going to push up the Tatsugiri and then just like it can get knocked out and I really don't care. I think that might be something that we see. Although Guzma coming down, going to discard Bolt and Fracture. Wow, getting rid of some Pokemon here. And the good news is that I think Will is going to be grabbing that Parallel City as the stadium. Yeah, this is going to do a great job of just really hurting Matty's ability to do everything he wants. There's so many support Pokemon that Matty wants in play. He wants the Magneton. He wants the Kilowattrel. And then he wants, of course, you know, the Flaffy for Dynamotor. He wants the Zebstrika to draw cards. Like, really, he wants 4 support Pokemon and, like, 1 to 2 attackers. So, but, ooh, going to get the double dragon energy. Very nice. And then just looking like grabbing that U-turn board. This is just an excellent series for Will here. He is going to get an attack off this turn. Although I say that, but I don't quite know with what Pokemon. He just got rid of the Raging Bolt. I would have expected the Raging Bolt to be the Pokemon to attack with here. You know, would have been able to do 60 damage, would have been able to knock out this Mareep, knock out the Wattrel, but unfortunately it's not going to get to do that here. So unless Will has something like a Night Stretcher in his hand or the Rescue Stretcher, don't think he's going to get to do that. Parallel City is going to come down. Matty's just going to get rid of the Blitzel and the Thundurus. Makes a lot of sense. Really easy to recover the Thundurus, and we do know that Zebstrika is in the prizes. So some very safe discards here. Going to see the U-turn board coming onto the Gabite. Going to give Will that free pivot option now. And let's see where this double dragon energy goes. It is just going to go on the Regidrago. So seems like Will is just not interested in getting an attack off this turn. Instead, just going to wait it out, right? Let's just spend another turn and then we'll do something. So, oh, what a great choice off of this Recon Directive. Fire or Shinier Fire. And glad to see you chose the Shinier Fire here. You know, it does more because it's shiny. You know, that's how this works. And instead, just going to see a retreat into the Tatsugiri, and then going to use that attract customers, look at the top 6, get to put a supporter card in the hand. And 2 very good ones. Guzma is great, and Chorus's Tenacity is great as well. But yeah, just going to grab that Guzma, going to provide that free pivoting option, which is very, very nice, and can gust up something that you want to knock out. I think that Magnezone is going to be on the chopping block here. That Magnezone does only have 140 HP, and next turn, the Giant Fangs of Regidrago will be doing 160, so I imagine that might be where we're headed next turn here. And we're just going to see some evolutions coming down from Matty's side. This is fantastic for him. He is getting set up, has Dynamotor set up, and has Rain Dance set up as well. And let's see kind of where his turn takes him from there. I don't think he has that many lightning energy in the hand. I think I saw 1. So let's see. I think, no, there's more than 1. I think there may be 2. 2 maybe? We'll just have to see. Gonna see Cynthia and Caitlin thinking about being the supporter here. But first, gonna do a Super Rod, you know, thinking about how he wants to sequence this hand. I think Matty might have a pretty good turn if he can just sequence this correctly. I wonder if he has access to the Kilowattrel this turn, and so the way that he sequences this turn could be very, very relevant. Just going to search, put Thundurus and the Blitzel back into the deck, and then we're going to see Tag Call gets to search for 2 tag team cards, put him in the hand. But no, thinking about it. May want to save that for a future turn. Just going to go Cynthia Caitlin. Nope, going to do the tag call here. And I believe Guzma is the only other tag team card in the deck. So, yep, just going to grab the 1 here. A bit of a 1-for-1 trade. Makes sense. You know, you keep the number of cards in hand the same. And then, yeah, Guzmahala going to discard Lightning Energy as well as Cynthia and Caitlyn. So now Matty is going to get to kind of do his Guzmahala to find the cool stuff. Probably going to grab going to grab his own Stormy Mountains. Makes a lot of sense. So he can search for a lightning Pokemon, and he gets to free his bench space back up, which we love to see. Also gets that U-turn board to help conserve, energy, gets to have a pivot, and he's going to put it on that Wattrel. The Kilowattrel also only has one retreat, so that's really nice. Can now pivot with it. Going to use that Stormy Mountains to grab the Blitzel. So I think Matty is kind of anticipating finding the Zebstrika early, so that way once he gets it off the prizes, he can immediately evolve it, start using that sprint ability to churn through his deck. If Matty has a single energy in hand, he can just attach it to the Zeraora and use the discharge attack. Discard all lightning energy, do 50 for each energy you discarded. Yep, and that's exactly what we're going to see. You're going to see an attachment. We did also see the Dynamotor onto the Wattrel, so this is nice. So now if Matty can just find himself the Kilowattrel, he can start off his turn by discarding it to draw because he's only got 2 cards in hand. And let's see, did he find the Zebstrika here? I don't think he did, so a little unfortunate there. Back over on Will's side here, we're going to see a big draw for a turn. An energy, very nice. So now this Regidrago can just knock out the Zeraora. Very interesting synergies with Matty's deck. So he did just discard all that energy. So like knocking out the Zeraora doesn't really do anything, right? Like if Will passes here, Matty's got to work pretty hard to take a knockout on his next turn. So it doesn't really matter if you knock out the Zeraora. Love to see it. And then he can use something like his energy recycler, an energy retrieval, something like that, just to get all that energy back in the hand and then just put it all into play again. Also playing one of my favorite cards, the Fisherman supporter. You search your discard pile. You got to search the discard pile for 4 basic energy cards and then put them back in your hand. And from Heart Gold Soul Silver, I just really like the way these old cards look. They look fantastic. I really hope I get to see it this game. But yeah, we just see that the fire energy gets attached to the Regidrago. Will is definitely going to be taking a knockout. And we know he has that Guzma, so he could pull up the Magnezone and knock it out. Maybe he goes, well, you know what? You didn't even use Magnetic Circuit last turn. You just attached for turn and accelerated with Dynamotor. Like, do I even need to knock out this Magnezone? Would it make more sense for me to knock out the Flaffy maybe, shut off Dynamotor? Would it make more sense for me to maybe preemptively kill this Wattrel before you can go into the Kilowattrel? Like, it's an interesting decision for Will on which Pokemon he wants to knock out. Could just say Zeraora, you know what, I'll just take my free prize, just bang, go. Or could instead, save the Guzma for later, when there's something maybe a little better in play. Like maybe if the Zebstrika comes down, just say, no, you are not going to get to draw. Or if the Kilowattrel comes down, like there's just a lot of options here. And we see that the Dredagon was the grab off of the Gabite. Really nice. Has that revenge attack. It's going to be a little difficult to set up. The double dragon energy has already been committed into play. Counter energy is technically online, but we have already attached for turn. So this Dredagon is not attacking this turn and probably not attacking next turn either. So I do imagine Regidrago is just the attack here. It's just going to be a question of what is the knockout going to be. And just going to see it knocked out on the Zeraora. Matty is going to promote the Wattrel. Makes sense. Free retreat. And Town Map was the prize card. That's very nice. So now Matty gets to flip those prize cards face up, and he's going to get to pick the prize he takes from here until the end of the game. Really nice. And he got to use the Hisuian Heavy Ball first. A little fun interaction there for those of you that might not know. You can't use Hisuian Heavy Ball after you've played Town Map. Hisuian Heavy Ball specifically says, look at your face down prize cards. Also, same thing with, no, it is not the same with Redeemable Ticket. We do see that several times that Matty has been on stream, prizes have just been abysmal and Matty does not get to do his cool strategy. So I like that he's included the Redeemable Ticket in his deck as well. You count your prize cards, put them on the bottom, and then take that many prizes and set them back out. So you get to reset the prizes. And notably, the Redeemable Ticket does work with Town Map. It doesn't specify if the prize cards need to be face up or face down, versus Hisuian Heavy Ball does specify face down. So some interesting wordings here that kind of matter. It's very cool. You love to see it. We are using the Stormy Mountains, I believe, here, and just going to grab the Thunderous. Makes sense here. Really great attack. Very energy efficient. Can use Dynamotor plus attach for turn, and you're good. You're cooking. You get to Gigantic Bolt for knockout, which is extremely nice here. Extremely relevant because a lot of the Pokemon in Will's deck have very large amounts of HP. 130, 120. And so, oh, there we go. It's the Fisherman. Going to put all that lightning energy back in the hand. Awesome. I love to see it. Boom. Big magnetic circuit to put 2 energy on this Thunderous, and Matty even still has an energy in the hand for next turn. I love it. Fantastic. Kaboom. Blow up this Regidrago. Take the Zebstrika, so next turn can evolve into Zebstrika and just discard the hand and draw 4. Love it. Absolutely love it. Matty is in such a great spot now. Like, excellent. But oh my goodness, Raihan off the top. That rips. Like, yeah, awesome. We're going to be seeing some excellent back and forth gameplay. I'm so happy to hear it. So yeah, so here's kind of where we're at. Oh, that's so funny. The Stormy Mountains in the wrong discard pile. Love to see it. That's so funny. Anyway, going to see Will using the Stormy Mountains, and this is going to be really nice. Like, Will can attack with whatever he wants to this turn as long as he can kind of get it out onto the board. And he's using the Stormy Mountains. I don't know what else he quite has access to. A lot of his stuff is prized. Yeah, he's just going to fail the Stormy Mountains, and then he'll use the Gabite to grab probably the Garchomp here, I would imagine. Yeah, Garchomp makes a lot of sense. We did, I think, see the Flapple was in the prizes, and we know that he discarded the Raging Bolt earlier, so can't use the Raging Bolt. And yeah, I think we're going to see maybe Raihan put the fire energy on the Druddigon, and then an attach for turn, and then can just revenge, take a knockout here, which is pretty nice. But Will could try to make use of that Sonic Slip. We know that Will is not going to have access to a ton of cards on his turn. So he could, evolve into the Garchomp. Sonic Slip says when you evolve it, prevent all damage and effects of attacks done to it until the end of your opponent's next turn. So could Dragon Blade for 160, and then, Matty can't knock it out or even damage it, and then can just Sonic Slip again. Like, that's pretty slick. Gets to, do the thing that wins you games in Gym Leader Challenge, where you prevent your opponent from taking a knockout. You slow them down, and a lot of times that one turn is all you need, right? Because if Will goes to 4 prizes here, and then Matty can't take a knockout, Will then goes to 3 prizes on his next turn, and now suddenly he is now up on prizes and will just win the prize trade if both players trade back and forth. So makes sense to kind of want to stop that right now. There's also a world where maybe Will just goes, because Matthew can get out of it, a Boss's Orders, a Guzma, just swapping from the Garchomp into the Druddigon or the Dracloak means that you get a knockout. So maybe Will waits here, goes, I'll attack you with the Druddigon. He knocks out the Druddigon. I might even Dracloak for 70, because 70 off of the Dracloak does take a knockout on Thunderous here. So, could do something where then the Gabite's the only Pokemon in play. Then you go Garchomp, and now Matty can't do swapping shenanigans to take a knockout. Could see something like that happen. And yeah, just going to see Raihan accelerate the fire. Water is the grab from the deck. So are going to see Revenge taking a knockout on this Thunderous here. And I don't think there was anything else cuter Will could have done here. I always love when my opponent puts something in the active that has so little HP remaining. This Thunderous has 30 or 20 HP remaining. So like I would have loved to get to see something like you push up one of these dinky Pokemon and just like, Surf from Tatsugiri taking a knockout would have been like very funny. Could have seen Dragon Headbutt from the Dracloak, but 2 energy, don't want to waste your Raihan just to attack with Dracloak, right? This Druddigon's got 120 HP. It's going to take a little more than a sneeze to knock it out. So like Matty has to do something very relevant here. And once again, we see the promotion of the Wattrel, and then going to see that Stormy Mountains finding a Pokemon, and the Regieleki is going to be the grab here. This Regieleki kind of rocks, has that Terra Spark attack. You discard all energy, does 120 active, 40 to 2 benched Pokemon. Like, it's really great at doing several things. If you can kind of get a little lucky where you Terra Spark more than once in a game, you can take multiple knockouts, Or you can even do this thing where you soften up some of these really big Pokemon. Like that Garchomp has 160 HP. If you can soften it to 120, that makes it so much easier to knock out with your other attackers. So very nice. We're going to see that Field Blower getting rid of some stuff here, and then we're just going to see the Iono happen here. Going to reset both players' hands, and then Big Professor's Letter to grab 2 Lightning Energy, which, thanks to the Magnezone, Matty can just quickly accelerate into play here. Like, very nice. If he can find that Kilowattrel, he will be absolutely like chugging through his deck. He hasn't even used Sprint yet, which is fantastic. He's got a lot of cards to work with, which is excellent. Gonna see the last energy go on to the Wattrel. Makes sense. If you're just gonna discard the hand to sprint, use the whole Buffalo, right? Now, he can't use the Kilowattrel more than once in a turn, I don't think. But then you just like have the option to do it next turn, right? If he finds the Kilowattrel, can use it this turn, and then it's already set up for next turn, which is fantastic. Haven't used Dynamotor yet either, so Matty is in a really good spot to get to do what he wants, like this turn and next turn. And I think the problem is, got that Energy Recycler in the hand. This is a very great piece of recovery. You shuffle 5 energy cards from your discard pile back into the deck, which is a great way to recover because a lot of Matty's attacks discard all the energy, right? The Regieleki discards the energy. The Zeraora discards the energy. And so, you really want to do Energy Recycler for like 5 once he attacks with the Regieleki, but he's planning on sprinting, so he was kind of debating, do I just want to leave this energy in the discard pile for Dynamotor, or do I want to have it in the deck? And I think putting it into the deck makes a lot of sense. He's already got enough to attack, right? He already has, Terra Spark up, and then that's going to put 3 in the discard pile for Flaffy on future turns. Also, if he just finds Kilowattrel off of the sprint, then gets an energy in the discard pile for Dynamotor. So it's like, it just kind of doesn't matter. And yep, there's the Quick Ball. So can grab a Pokemon to Dynamotor here. Gonna get rid of the Marnie. Just gonna grab the Raikou. Raikou's very nice. It is kind of the Lapras for Lightning. Got that Thunder Lance. Does 50 plus 20 more for each Lightning Energy. And has that Shining Body where if it has any Lightning Energy attached, it reduces the damage it takes by 20. Very cool. See, Versus Seeker in the hand. That's going to be excellent for next turn. Like, wow, Matty has a pretty good set going here. He just needs to find that Kilowattrel, and he's going to have everything he wants. Will does not have access to Parallel City anymore, and I think he's got Lucamine in his deck, but no, he doesn't. He doesn't even have Lucamine in his deck, so it's like Will is unable to really stop Matty from doing what he wants. He's got too many things in play for Boss's Orders to really matter. And yeah, just going to grab that Speed Lightning Energy as the prize card. Very, very nice. Knock out the Dredagon. Like, man, Matty is just like, he is off to the races. And I love to see kind of an unconventional build of Lightning really take off here. Like, that's just awesome. I love to see it. Counter Energy is in the hand, and it is currently online. So I would love to see Will go for something like can get an attack off with Garchomp this turn, which is very nice. And Garchomp can currently knock out the Magnezone here, so that would be a great way to slow Matty down a lot. Because right now, he doesn't have a lot of energy sitting in play. He's done the thing where he accelerates a bunch of energy and then discards it for a big effect. But he doesn't currently have like his next attacker set up. Boss's Orders getting grabbed off of the Dracloak. Technically, it's Lysander, but, it's Boss's Orders. And so, yeah, can definitely knock out the Magnezone this turn. We can see the Dragon Call or, evolve into Garchomp, attach that counter energy, and then bang, knock out the Magnezone. The only issue with that play is that if Matty is unable to take a knockout on the next turn, then the counter energy just provides a colorless, which means that Garchomp can't attack on the next turn unless he can find Crispin, right? But then it's like, well, then the counter energy was kind of wasted because it's not like doing what you want it to do. It's like things are just a little, but this makes a lot of sense. Can just go into the Dredagon and then use the counter energy to use Revenge to knock out this Regieleki. I actually think Revenge can knock out the Magnezone, if I'm not mistaken. So could do something like that. That would be really, really nice as well. Does 160. So that is going to be enough to knock out the Magnezone. So okay, Will is in a good spot, and you get to do the thing that I really like, which is really just kind of eke all the advantage you can out of your cards. Putting the counter energy on the Garchomp is a one-turn knockout, right? And that's it. But putting counter energy on the Druddigon makes it where once your Druddigon gets knocked out next turn, doesn't really matter. You did what you wanted it to do, which is, every turn it was attached, it provided 2 energy, versus attaching it to this Garchomp just does not do that. So makes a lot of sense here. I really like the kind of play there of doing that. We did evolve into the Garchomp, so maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe we are going to attack with the Garchomp. Going to use that Sonic Slip, making it where nothing can be done to it next turn. No effects of attacks. No damage. Nothing's going to happen. It is going to stick around until the next turn. So yeah, are going to see the counter energy attached to the Garchomp. So that is a little bit of a spot here for Will. Like, this counter energy kind of is only good for this turn. And wow, counter catcher, not even using the boss, just going to use counter catcher, knock out this Magnezone. That rocks. That's very cool. And, ooh, Haxorus and the U-turn board getting tossed into the discard pile. That's a little rough here. That's not great. Especially after we've just seen the Super Rod put a bunch of stuff back into the deck. So good news though. The Axew wasn't down, so it's not like there was an Axew or a Fracture taking up bench spots and now unable to evolve. It's just, now that play is just kind of unavailable to us. Back over on Matty's side here, he has lost his Rain Dance, so he's going to need to find some piece of recovery if he wants to get an attack off this turn. Or not even an attack, but just to start setting up that Magnezone so he can get an attack off. I do say that, but you don't really need to get an attack off this turn because Garchomp is going to make it where it doesn't matter. So yeah, just like, why not? Let's just take a turn off and rebuild. That is the good news here about this turn, is that a lot of your decisions have been kind of made for you. We see the Speed Lightning energy is going to be attached to the Regieleki, going to draw 2 cards. I didn't quite see what they were, but I don't think they were... Oh, it was the Zapdos, yes. And then I do believe that Matty has the Lavencia in his hand. Very cool stadium card for the Lightning archetype. Once per turn, you can just put 2 Lightning energy into your hand. Very nice. And then Dynamotor accelerates an energy onto the Regieleki. So now Matty's bench is full, so he's not going to be able to get that Magnezone set up anytime soon. We also know that the rare candy was put in the discard pile as well earlier off of Sprint. So I don't think this Magnezone's ever getting back into play. Maybe we get to see the Overvolt discharge of the Magneton getting used a little later in the game as a way to, maybe explode the last little bit of energy that Matty needs for a knockout. But I would imagine, gotta retreat out of this Watchful, right? Can't just leave this Watchful in the active, but maybe you can. Doesn't really matter. We know that Will has access to that Lysander, so can pull up this Regieleki and knock it out, which is really great here. But first, gonna use that Recon Directive. And I don't think either one of these cards are great at the moment. I think that was a Chorus's Tenacity. And I'm not quite sure what the other card is. It is one of those very fun proxies. It's the only downside here. Sometimes I can't tell what the card is, but not a big deal. I wonder if it would have been better for Matty to Dynamotor onto the Zapdos. Because he has decided to put all of his energy on the Regieleki, the Regieleki is now a bit of a lightning rod for, the Gust. If he had maybe split it up, attached to the Regieleki Speed Lightning, Dynamotored onto the Zapdos, no matter which Pokemon Will bosses, Matty could then on his next turn go Dynamotor attach for turn attack, no matter which Pokemon got knocked out. But see, now this Regieleki gets boss KO'd and Matty can't do anything on his next turn. So a little bit of, I would say an error here. I could be wrong. It could work out for him, but to me, it just feels like it's put this giant target on Regieleki for Will to punish here. Will gets to punish this play here. And once he does that, I think Will is going to start to run away with the game. He is getting close to... Oh, no, but he can't attack this turn. Yeah, the counter energy is turned off. Attached to the Druddigon, I don't think Will can take a knockout here. Yeah, that's my fault, y'all. I was even saying that a turn or two ago. I was like, oh, counter energy doesn't do anything. But yeah, Will just ain't taking a knockout here. So very nice. Just a pass over to Matty. Matty does not get punished for setting his energy up in the way that he has. And oh, I see. He doesn't have any lightning in the discard pile. So it doesn't matter if he splits it up, he can't get an attack off with either. So you know what? My fault, Matty. My apologies. You were thinking way ahead of me. So my fault. And we're just going to see the Versus Seeker, and the Cynthia Caitlyn is going to get grabbed here. Funny. It's a Versus Seeker that draws you 3 and it discards a lightning energy. So he wanted the Io. He's going to get Io for next turn. And now he has the lightning energy in his discard pile. And he found the Kilowattrel. My goodness, this is just excellent. I love to see this. This is fantastic. Yeah, boom. Big attach to the Regieleki. That Regieleki gets to attack this turn. And we finally get to see the Ionos Kilowattrel. Awesome. This is just like fantastic. So now next turn, when Matty plays this Io, he puts Will to 3, maybe even 2 cards. And then he just gets to go Io you to 2. Kilowattrel is going to draw me back up to 6. Like, this is just, excellent. I love it when a plan comes together like this. Like, this is fantastic. And yeah, Regieleki gets to knock out this Garchomp. I almost wonder if it would have made sense to save the Garchomp for a different turn, right? Like the turn that Will went into Garchomp, Matty was unable to get an attack off, so that Sonic Slip ability did not do what it was supposed to do, which is slow Matty down a turn. I almost wonder if going in with the Dredagon would have made a little more sense on that last turn. And then you get to, save that Sonic Slip for a turn where Matty really can get a knockout, but can't because of the Sonic Slip ability. Like, it doesn't matter what Pokemon took the knockout there. Matty was not getting an attack off. So, Matty just Terra Sparks, takes a big knockout, and he's in a fantastic spot. He's got an energy on the Raikou. Like, things are looking pretty good. That Field Blower is going to put that U-turn board back in the hand, get rid of the Lavencia. And now let's see if Will can combo it with some hand attack. If he can combo it with some hand attack, suddenly Matty does not have a free pivot anymore. And he's going to have to discard an energy off of this Kilowattrel if he wants to effectively use his Dynamotor effects. Level Ball is getting grabbed off of this Recon Directive. That is not great right now. So Will's in a little bit of a spot. The good news for him is that he has the fire energy he needs to attack with Dredagon, so he gets to take a knockout, go down to 2. He's not out of the game, but Will has to find some way to stop Matty here from taking knockouts, and I just don't think he has it right now. He's going to go up into the Kilowattrel. He's just going to reattach that U-turn board. He's going to, Dynamotor plus attach for turn. And now, the Raikou can the Raikou take a knockout? It does 50 plus 20. So could be plus an additional 60. So could do 110 plus 40. That's already on the Dredagon thanks to the Regieleki. And yeah. And we're going to see big Cram-O-Matic. It's a great card. It lets you discard a card and roll a dice. Very fun. I love cards that let you roll dice. Excellent. And yeah, so it's we get to knock out the Dredagon here with the Raikou, which is very nice. And then what does Will do on the next turn? Nothing. And then you win the game. Or even if he does take a knockout, you're still just one knockout away from winning the game. It's this is not looking good here. I mean, we're even at a point where Kilowattrel is very close to getting to knock out this Dredagon, or the Dracloak. The Dracloak only has 10 HP left. So if Matty can just find his Gust, and then he could even go Mach Bolt with Kilowattrel take a knockout. That'd be pretty slick. I mean, he's at a point where anything can take a knockout, by that logic. Could even go in with the Zebstrika, could Headbolt for knockout. And we're going to see not choosing to do the Io, instead choosing to do In. So the big thing here is that In is going to, both cards are going to put Will to 2 cards. But the difference here is that the Io would make it where Will is guaranteed to see 2 new cards, while this In makes it where Will could see the same cards make its way back into the hand. So, there are more dead cards is what Matty, I think, is banking on. Or maybe Matty wanted some of the cards that he was shuffling back into the deck. He wanted to maybe draw back into one of those cards maybe. But we see some lightning energy has been grabbed here, and Parallel City. Parallel City isn't going to be doing much, but might as well just put it down. Why not? And we're going to see a retreat from the Kilowattrel, not using the ability to draw, but you could now. Just doing it right now would be very nice. Like, and he's thinking, do I want to commit this lightning energy into play? I think you do. Just attach. Oh no, you've already attached for turn, and you've already used your abilities here. So makes sense. You know, you kind of need to. This is tough. Could use the Kilowattrel to draw up. Just going to sprint, discard the lightning energy to draw 4. Interesting. Found boss's orders. Very nice. I think it's very interesting that both players opted to play Lysander instead of boss's orders. You know what? Sound off in the comments. Get in the comments. Let me know. What is your favorite boss art? Is it the Lysander? Is it, our boy Giovanni? Is it the Getsis? Let me know. And wow, Electric Generator is going to find 1 lightning energy here. Very, very nice for Matty. I love Electric Generator. That card has won me many a game. And he's going to be putting it on the Zapdos, which rocks, which means next turn, Matty is set up to win the game. He can attach to Zapdos, Dynamotor, and he wins. So I think he has slammed the door shut on Will. Even if Will takes a knockout on this Raikou, we are set up for this Zapdos to take a knockout. Like, Will's going to need something kind of crazy if he wants to get out of this game. And I'm trying to think what that would be. It'd need to be like Raihan on the Regidrago, special charge to put the Double Dragon energy back in the deck, attach Double Dragon energy, put a luxurious cape on this Regidrago or something, right? Like, but I don't think Will has very many options here. Good news, he gets to Dragon Horde to draw some cards, use that Dracloak to dig a little deeper, Crispin special charge. Okay, those are 2 good options. Crispin is nice, can, get 2 energy in play. But I think that's not good enough. I just don't think there's a way out of this. We do see that he's got the Lysander in his hand, or Guzma is in his hand. So maybe Will can do something like pull up the Zebstrika, pull up the... That doesn't really matter. Everything has 1 retreat now. The Flaffy has 2, but it has the U-turn board on it. Zebstrika has free retreat, or Zebstrika has 1 retreat. The Kilowattrel has 1 retreat and an energy on it. I guess the play could be pull up the Zapdos, because then you have to attach retreat off of the Zapdos. Oh, Floatstone was the card. So now this Regidrago can retreat for free. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what it looks like you got to do here is maybe go into... Yeah, pulling up Zapdos with Lysander, I think, is kind of your only way out of it. And you got to hope he doesn't have anything. And then maybe set up a Raging Bolt and like a Raging Bolt down the Raikou, and then you're feeling pretty good. But I think that's a little optimistic to think that that's going to happen at this point in the game. Especially now that Matty has his kind of engine set up. He can sprint for 4, and then he can use the Kilowattrel to draw back up to 6. It's like, I just don't think that that's going to happen. And and that's going to be it. Will decides to scoop it up, and Matty is going to win with the Rain Dance at home. We love to see an unconventional strategy just get to take a big win. Excellent job, Matty. Big congratulations. And that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I sure did. Be sure to do all the things. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, which, hey, thank y'all so much for getting us to 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to all of us here at the Comeback Mechanics. And with that, my name is Cody Hope, and I'm signing out.